What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns welcoming you to another episode of my Discuss series. Last week, I gave you guys a Discuss topic, and you submitted it via the comment section, Twitter, and email. Where is it? It's right there. Yeah, down there. Or, it's up there, too. Yeah. But, I just put it down there as well because it's bigger, easier to read. And it's also in the description section, so there you go. So, anyways, let's see. What was the topic again? I forget. What was that damn topic? I could have swore it was on the tip of my tongue. Oh, that's right. Best video game villains. I think I need some water. Anyways, so yes. This is basically going to be a two-parter. So some of you can probably guess where we're going to be going with next week's Discuss topic, which we will, unveil at the end of this video. So I wanted to get some of your favorite video game villains or antagonists. And I gave you guys kind of a limit. I capped you off at up to 3 because some of you could have gone on and on and on. And you know who you are. Yes, you do. But anyway, so we're going to go and see alphabetical order this time. Since I think the Q&A last week we did reverse, I believe. So yeah, fuck it. We're just going to do alphabetical order. And we're going to see who are some of your favorite video game villains. And if you did not partake in the Discuss video today, you can do so via the comment section. Let us know who's your favorite video game villain or antagonist, or who's your top 3. Feel free and let us know below in the comment section. All right, so starting things off is Brian. Hey, GeauxBurns. My favorite video game villain is Zeus from the God of War series. He's stabbed in the back and take your revenge on Zeus. Then you find out he's your father because stabbed in the back. He thinks you want to rule Mount Olympus and take revenge. I think an awesome villain because the battle between father and son. I'm sorry for my bad spelling, and I hope you have an awesome day. And Brian, along with everybody else, as always, I hope you all are having an awesome day as well as a fantastic week. Now, I'm not familiar with the God of War series, but I am quite knowledgeable with Greek mythology. And so I'm familiar with, Zeus being like the main god in ancient Greek culture, residing on top of Mount Olympus along with Hera and everyone else. And down below, you got Hades, and you got Poseidon hanging out in the water in the ocean, a.k.a. Aquaman, I guess. But anyways, so I didn't realize that Zeus was a quote-unquote villain in the God of War series until now, because obviously I never played the God of War series. So that's kind of interesting. I did not realize that they would turn Zeus into a villain. But, from like Greek mythology, he wasn't entirely a good god. Like sometimes he did some good stuff and a lot of times, no. He did some bad stuff too. But he did have a lot of kids. That I know for sure. So I guess it makes sense that the protagonist of the God of War series would happen to be a son. One of many sons and daughters of Zeus. Okay, so thank you so much for your submission, Brian. Next, we go to Bub. He has 3. I have a whole list of video game villains. I'd say the more appropriate term for these fellas is that they're antagonists. Well, yeah, villain, antagonist, same thing, basically. All right, so his 3 are Dimitri from Grand Theft Auto 4, Zant from Legend of the Zelda Twilight Princess, and Mirik from Skyrim. And I played all 3 of these games, and yeah, they're all 3 very good antagonists or villains. So yeah, and Mirik, or however you wish to pronounce his name, the original Dragonborn, was part of the Dragonborn expansion. And it was a very good expansion, by the way. Very good DLC that came with Skyrim. Along with, let's see, what was it? The Vanguard and, the Hearthstone where you could, build houses. It was kind of silly. Time-consuming, but I would say of the Skyrim DLCs, Dragonborn was probably my favorite. It was really cool. Plus, you got to go back to an island that, had a very, very cool vibe to it from a previous Elder Scroll game. Yes, you know which game I'm talking about. A game very loved by the Elder Scrolls community, Morrowind. It definitely had a Morrowind vibe to it. And of course, Dimitri's a dick, and Zank was a pretty decent antagonist as well in Twilight Princess. So thank you, Bub, for submitting your 3, and I keep saying protagonists, I mean 3 antagonists, your 3 villains. And I appreciate you limiting yourself to 3 as I requested. So that was very thoughtful. All right, so next we go to Chaotic. My favorite video game villain has to be between Voss from Far Cry 3, Officer Tenpenny from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and Gunther Odim from Witcher 3's expansion. So I did play Witcher 3, but I never got around to getting the expansion. And obviously, I've played Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, so I'm aware of Officer Tenpenny, voiced by the one and only Samuel L. Jackson. And no, I've never played the Far Cry series, even though you would think that's a type of series that I would be interested in because it's very open world. I don't know why I never got around to playing Far Cry. It's very strange, but I have heard good things about Far Cry 3 and the main antagonist, villain, which is obviously Voss, played by Michael Mando. Now, Michael Mando is an awesome actor. We'll talk more about him in a moment. All right, so there is Chaotic's 3 submissions. And next on our list comes all the way from Facebook, Chris GLaDOS. Fun and evil. What more could a simple boy want? And I believe that GLaDOS is from Portal, I think. Of course, thanks to Google, I found that one out because I never played Portal before. Another potentially awesome game that I'm missing out on. So, I mean, I've heard people say how, like, I think funny and, like, twisted this villain, this antagonist is. So I can see why Chris and others would consider GLaDOS to be worthy of being, you know, one of the top villains out there in video games. Plus, it's kind of an interesting twist, having a sentient robot trying to kill you. I mean, that's nothing new, right? Now we're moving on to Donnie off of YouTube. A villain that I think is one of the greatest is Voss from Far Cry 3, because he was a real sick bastard, but you loved watching him for some reason, kind of like T-Bag from Prison Break. So not only have I not played Far Cry, which I guess I should have, at least Far Cry 3. But maybe I should have watched Prison Break as well, because I've had a lot of people tell me good things about Prison Break. Well, at least the first season. I hear it kind of gets repetitive after a while. But the premise of the show is breaking out of a prison. I mean, it just screams being repetitive. But back on topic regarding Voss, and hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Now, the reason why I think people like Voss so much is because the actor who portrays Voss, who I'm very familiar with, Michael Mando, and 2 shows that I love he's been in. The first show is Orphan Black, which sadly just wrapped up its series over the weekend. And by the way, the lead actress of Orphan Black, Tatiana, she is awesome. And hopefully we'll see her in future projects, future films, TV shows down the line. And hopefully she will have a very long, successful career because she was phenomenal in Orphan Black. Now, Michael Mando played a character in Orphan Black, her ex-boyfriend called Vic, and he was kind of a dick. And most of you probably never watched Orphan Black, but he wasn't a very likable character, but at the same time, that just shows how good of an actor Michael Mando was, where he really portrayed Vic as this douchebag who was in his own weird way trying to turn his life around, trying to be better than he was previously. But another show you may be more familiar with is one of my favorite shows, along with Game of Thrones, Better Call Saul. He plays a very important character in Better Call Saul, Nacho. And I absolutely love Nacho. Such a fantastic character. Among several great characters in one great show. So that says a lot about Michael Mando. And hopefully he too is going to have a very fantastic, excellent career. Like three things under his belt already. You know, Orphan Black, you know, Better Call Saul, along with Far Cry 3. Because a lot of people speak very highly of his portrayal of Voss in that game. So, and this isn't the last time he's going to be on this list. Just giving you guys a spoiler. All right, thank you so much, Donnie, for your submission. Now we're going to Akeem. The most diabolical, evil incarnate, sadistic villain has to be the laughing dog from Duck Hunt. Really? Hey, it's your list. I can still remember waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, hearing his giggling in my ears. I race to the living room and say, "Today's the day I'm going to get that mofo." It's my best game until the damn birds zing and I zag and I blew my load, and it was like prom date. TMI, Hakeem. TMI. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I remember the dog from Duck Hunt because I go all the way back to the original NES. You know, when me and my stepsister had a little black and white TV that we would fight and kill each other over, and one of the very first games we got was kind of a combo pack. It was Super Mario Brothers, which also included Duck Hunt. So we had the Zapper, and yeah, I remember how annoying that dog would get if you did not kill the duck. Now, he was very supportive of you if you killed the duck or the two ducks. Like, he would jump out of the bushes all happy, happy dog with the duck or two ducks in his hand. But, yeah, he would let you know if you fucked up. So, I don't know if he's the real villain, though, but that's just my opinion. I would say that the ducks probably were, but, I digress. So, the other villain that Keem would like to bring up is Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. He's basically turned his daughter into a battery and shot one of the main characters in the head. So, yes, a lot of people have spoken about Handsome Jack throughout the years when it comes to Borderlands. Another game franchise, admittedly, I never played, but at the same time, a lot of people know about Handsome Jack. Next is the Real Scorpion. First off, nice Q&A and evil laugh. What are you talking about? What laugh? What was he talking about? I mean, it's just a normal laugh. I mean, no one else laughs like that? Really? Okay. Anyways, the Reapers from Mass Effect, they just look looming over you during the whole trilogy. I love this trilogy, and the Reapers as an enemy were great, especially the Sovereign with that voice. Voss from Far Cry 3. See, like I said, another vote for Voss from Far Cry 3. Was so assertively insane and great. Best character in the game, hands down. So sad he wasn't the main villain, though. The guy, in the end, was so tame in comparison. And his number one choice is the Lynch King from World of Warcraft. He was so freaking cool. Massive stature, armor, sword. The armor really gave me a strong Sauron vibe. And the voice, again, there was something iconic over it. I used to tell my guildies to shut up when we were raiding so I could hear him as the final boss battle. And he had to go through the monologue every time, and I loved it, which is also a pretty cool fight, by the way, to be honest. Okay, so I never played Mass Effect. I never played World of Warcraft. Obviously, I'm not much of a gamer, am I? No. But, like I said, another vote for Voss. So, once again, props to Michael Mando for such a phenomenal performance. Robin is next up to bat. Brian O'Neill is a crazy Mick bastard. In case you're wondering who Brian O'Neill is, a game I actually played, by the way, and I Let's Played over, nearly a year ago. Mafia 2. And he's someone that Vito meets while in prison. And they don't exactly get along. I'll just say all that about Brian O'Neill in case you never played Mafia 2. I'm trying not to spoil anything too much for you guys, but, he was definitely an interesting antagonist in Mafia 2. There were several antagonists, by the way, but he was one of them. I'll say that much. And he made my stay while in prison not so fun, not really. But afterwards, things were gravy. Okay, so anyways, that is Robin's pick for best video game villain. Let's see who is next. Sedan. All right, my favorite video game villain is going to have to be EA Games. That's a publisher and a developer. Okay, well, I guess you technically could say they're a video game villain, so to speak. I mean, I'm not a fan of EA, but, that's a side topic. Because they have ruined many games and franchises, but also given us Battlefield 4 and 1, which are actually a lot of fun. And, I'm actually kind of sort of looking forward to Star Wars Battlefront 2. So, yeah. But that's EA DICE, though. I mean, I realize it has the EA in the name, but, I guess, as the old saying goes, not everybody's bad, So, maybe EA DICE is okay, but, the annual sports games, yeah, those are kind of annoying because it's basically the same game over and over and over again. And every now and then they change something. But for the most part, you're paying $60 every year for the same fucking game. It's ridiculous. But anyways, oh yeah, that's right. I did mean to actually pick somebody from a video game sedan. So ha ha ha, very funny. All right, so I guess I have to go with Morello from Mafia, the City of Lost Heaven. His white suit, Silver Fletcher are iconic. And he made a fantastic rival mobster in the game, especially how he's able to control the city's smaller gangs and even politicians to fight the Solari crew. Alright, so another video game, yes, I have played. And am playing right now. Last Friday, in fact, we kicked it off with Episode 1 of Mafia, the City of Lost Heaven. And Episode 2 is coming up this coming Friday. So yes, I did just plug a series within this series. Boom. What you gonna do about it? Nada, because it's my series. Duh. But yes, another awesome video game. And Morello, he's definitely an antagonist, and I really didn't like him. So we're gonna find out more about Morello as we continue playing Mafia. You know, continuing this coming Friday, and probably every Friday until we knock out that Let's Play series. Next in line is Tim. My favorite game villain is Officer Tenpenny from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I hated him so much. And once again, credit to the actor, Samuel Jackson. Not only a fantastic, action, real life actor, for the big films. He also, put him in a video game, give him a script. He does a phenomenal job as well. That's why Samuel Jackson is so successful. But yes, he definitely brought some life to Officer Tenpenny, this Los Santos cop who obviously has some power within his precinct. He's not exactly a clean cop. He's very corrupt, and in a way, I think he tries to be a law enforcement officer, but at the same time, he's obviously getting a little something extra off the side to go along with his pension. So he's not very likable. No, he's not, especially from the very start of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, when he's basically setting up poor CJ with a crime that he obviously did not commit because he just got off the fucking plane from Liberty City. So that's Officer Tenpenny for you in a nutshell. Once again, props to Samuel Jackson for making him so unlikable. Slithering his way up in the line next is Unknown Assassin. Off of Twitter, my favorite video game villain is Clockwork from Sly Cooper. Admittedly, another game I have not played. See, at least I'm being honest, and I'm not trying to bullshit you guys. I never played that game, but as I've said before, another possibly awesome game because I've heard a lot of people talk about Sly Cooper. And I know very little about Clockwork. He looks kind of intimidating. I think he's supposed to be an owl. And that kind of sucks because I kind of like owls. Owls are kind of cool. And finally, we go to Young Knight. Pagan Min from Far Cry 4. I've always liked that calm but insane villain. Also, even though he's not in the game much, his influence makes him a menace to the characters. And like I said, I've never played Far Cry 4. And, some people like Pagan Min. Other people prefer Voss as a villain. So it just depends on what kind of villain you prefer when it comes to video games. So first off, thank you to everybody that submitted your favorite top 3 or your favorite villain antagonist for this discussed video. And I'm sure you guys are wondering, GeauxBurns, what's your top 3 villains? You really want to know my top 3? Okay, fine. Since I took a little bit of time to think about 3, these are 3 that came to me. I went over a few and I thought about it and I'm like, nah, not that one. No, not that one. Because I didn't want to go with villains that were very well known, like Bowser from Mario or Ganon from Legend of Zelda. I want to do ones that had kind of a little something else going on with them. So, anyways, here is my top 3 villains or antagonists in video games. Villains just sounds cooler, so we're going with my 3 favorite villains in video games. First off, Baal, the Lord of Destruction from the Diablo series. Now, he is, I guess, more prevalent in Diablo 2 than either of the other Diablo games, and he's one of the prime evils. He is the brother of Mephisto, the Lord of Hate, and Diablo, the Lord of Terror. And he plays a key role in Diablo 2 and the expansion Lord of Destruction, which is obviously named after him. He has a personality to him. He's very manipulative. He's very cunning. And I would say of the 3 brothers, I would believe, this is my opinion, that that Bale is probably the cleverest of the three, the smartest of the three. Now, I'm not trying to get on, Mephisto's or Diablo's bad side, but, there's just something about Bale that, in my opinion, makes him scarier than his brothers. But, that's just my thoughts. The other villain antagonist would have to be Edgar Ross from Red Dead Redemption. He is the director of the Bureau of Investigation. He's basically the one that takes John Marston's family and forces him to hunt down Bill Williams and Dutch in order to get his family and his freedom back. And he puts John Marston through a lot of hell in order to do that. And in the end, he screws over Marston anyways. And he's a real piece of work. Now, he thinks he's a good guy. He believes he's doing right, like for the greater good. But at the same time, Edgar Ross is not exactly a man of honor. He's not a man that sticks to his word. He is a douchebag who just happens to be a man with a badge. And those are some of the worst villains. Villains that are in power. They have some sort of authority, whether they're an agent or they're like a military like general or even a government official or even a leader. Because they have this power. They have the law behind them, which makes them even more dangerous and more powerful because they can get away with shit that, the other type of villains, criminal villains, can't get away with. I mean, they're basically one and the same, but the difference is, one is on the other side of the line, whereas they can do anything and all this evil shit for the quote-unquote greater good, but they get away with it because, they're the law. And honestly, I mean, Edgar Ross represents what is wrong with, I would say, law enforcement, because unfortunately you have a lot of Edgar Rosses out there, both in local police, state police, federal agents as well. But to digress, not all police officers, not all agents are bad. I'm just saying that he definitely represents the worst side of law enforcement, where someone gets to that point where they believe that they have to fight fire with fire, and they think that two wrongs make a right, where in the end it does not. It just makes them a villain in their own way. I never liked Edgar Ross, and that's why he's on my list. The third and final villain I'm going to bring up is probably maybe the lesser known one. I don't know, maybe Belle was, but let's see. This is the newest one. Lady Arkham from Batman Season 1 of the Telltale series. Now, her reveal caught me completely off guard. I did not see that coming. And if you're a Batman fan, I would highly recommend you play Season 1 of Batman the Telltale series. Or, you could just go, I don't know, watch my Let's Play. You could do that as well, I guess, if you don't feel like, playing it yourself. But I would recommend playing it because it was awesome. It has a great story, fantastic music. I would say most of the voice actors are done rather well, including Bruce Wayne, Batman. I think Troy Baker did a good job. Even though Troy Baker is like in a lot of shit and people make fun of him, he does do a good job in Batman the Telltale series as Batman as well as Bruce Wayne. But back on Lady Arkham, I like her because you don't see it coming. And B, when you start to learn more about Lady Arkham and her origins, you come to realize that in her own way, she's trying to be a vigilante because, a great injustice was done to her and to others, and she's trying to get revenge. But the difference is between her and Batman, Bruce has a policy of not killing, of actually bringing criminals to justice, bringing them down and handing them over to Gordon and the GCPD and, for the courts to deal with. Lady Arkham, on the other hand, wants chaos. She wants to make, those responsible and others pay, similar to Edgar Ross in a way, except for she's not on the side of the law, and she doesn't even pretend to be, but she just goes about it her own way to try and right wrongs that were done in the past sins, with more sin and more death and more destruction, which almost tears Gotham City apart. So she's definitely a very good villain, and a new villain, actually. It's one of those villains that, to take Telltale's credit, they could have grabbed a known villain in Batman's Rogues Gallery, but they basically created a brand new villain, and she worked out rather well. And definitely could kick Batman's ass. She definitely had some fighting skills, which is something else you kind of want in a villain, because sometimes you get a villain that can only fight, or a villain that's really smart but can't fight worth shit. You kind of need a villain that is somewhere in the middle. so that they are a good all-around villain to the hero and protagonist, which leads us to what part 2 of this Discuss series is going to be about. Well, this particular part of the Discuss series, which will go on beyond the part 2. So next week, unless you probably figured it out, we're going to discuss your favorite video game hero, because we could all use a hero. Our heroes. The same rule is going to apply to the Discuss favorite video game villains. You can have up to 3 heroes from said video games. So if there's a hero or 3 heroes, 3 protagonists that you really loved, feel free and either leave it below in the comment section via Twitter or Facebook. And you have till this coming Friday, which is going to be, let's see, the 18th. I had to look at my computer real quick. The 18th of August 2017 to submit your favorite video game hero or heroes. But once again, bear in mind, you have till this Friday to either do it in the comment section or via the various social media links, Twitter, Facebook, and you can submit up to 3. And let me know why, this is your favorite hero or your favorite 3 heroes in video games.